Good day. This is Dr. John Bennett in Miami, Florida, home of Neurosurgical TV. We have another Neurosurgical Super Sunday with Abe Cherian. The title this week is going to be the Ergonomics of Neurosurgery. Let us introduce the panelists first before we turn it over to Abe. Hello, Marco.
Hello, everybody. My name is Marco Meloni. I'm consultant neurosurgeon in Gravedona, North Italy.
Well, a frequent participant.
Hello.
Welcome, Marco. Hello, Dr. Cabullo. Are you there? You may have stepped away. Go ahead, Dr. Cabullo.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Kabulo from Democratic Republic of Congo. Currently, I'm final year neurosurgery resident at the University of Zimbabwe.
Very good. From the Congo. Okay. Musindo, are you there? Musindo, can you hear me?
Hear you.
Go ahead, Musindo.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, Musindo. Go ahead.
Yes, I am Musindo, resident of neurosurgery in Maputo Central Hospital in Mozambique.
Mozambique. Okay, very good. Welcome. Hello, Amir. Welcome back.
Hello, everybody. You hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Could you please introduce yourself?
My name is Amir Badr, and I'm from Jordan. I'm working in Ukraine as a head of neurosurgical.
From Jordan, working in the Ukraine. Okay, excellent. Welcome. Okay, I welcome, and it's all yours.
Okay, John.
Yes.
So today we wanted to talk to you about, to the young neurosurgeons, everybody, about what is ergonomics in neurosurgery. In fact, neurosurgery is one of the branches which really do not make use of ergonomics. So starting with, let's say we're doing very fine work, yet we have drills which are at least 100 grams plus weighing on your hands. You have a microscope which you can say it is the least ergonomic thing that you can operate with. You have QSAs which are not ergonomic. You have needle holder which are not ergonomic. So you have a position which is not ergonomic. There is a lot of things which are not ergonomic in neurosurgery in the present day. Starting with changing everything, we want to tell you about some of the things which you can improve with respect to the microscope, with respect to the drills, with respect to other instruments, and of course with respect to how the surgeon can change with to be more ergonomic with the present set of things. Now, first thing first, 2 cardinal rules of neurosurgery. Number 1, you cannot operate what you cannot see. So which means that when you are looking at something in microneurosurgery, that object has to be in the center of your field, number 1. Number 2, that object always has to be in focus. I've seen a lot of neurosurgeons operating off focus. This is something that all the amateurs do. They don't continuously focus. So what happens at the end of the day, they'll be doing something which will seem a little bit off focus, which will seem a little bit not clear. And that happens especially when you are not focusing all the time. Second thing is you are not magnified enough. So when you're not magnified enough, you're not seeing things. So when you're not seeing things, you're not able to be operating properly. So that's the first cardinal rule, that what you don't see, you cannot operate. So the most important thing is magnify, focus. Magnify, focus. All the time. Anytime you're having a difficulty, imagine, are you magnified enough? Are you focused enough? Okay, number one. Number two, unless you're comfortable, you cannot operate well. I've seen some guys sitting with the microscope like that. It's so difficult. But believe me, I have a lot of you take a photograph of you operating, and then you will suddenly realize how uncomfortable you are. So to change into being uncomfortable, first thing first, your hands have to be rested, completely rested. Second, the way you're sitting has to be completely comfortable with your head position. You cannot just afford to sit in a funny position or sit with an off-center chair and operate. So these are two important things, whether we have the present set of instruments, whether we have another new set of instruments. These two things are true for every neurosurgery. Magnify, focus, comfort. Three things. Then we will go to things which now we have drills. Imagine a 100-gram drill, let's say something like this. We are holding on to there and doing work. Okay. Now what happens? Let's say a good drill. So something like that. Okay, but much heavier than that, and you are doing this work. Now with the current drill, how can you improve that? Improve that work is not to have that drill cable, everything hanging on to your hand. So the first thing you can do is a drill hoist. A drill hoist is nothing. It can be your assistant who can be holding, not holding, just supporting the drill cable so that when you drill, you don't have too much of a force on your hand. The drill bit, the drill hoist that we are designing is something like this gimbal. So you can see this gimbal. Edmundo is an expert on these kind of things. So what I will have essentially is I'll have a wristband with a gimbal, and this gimbal will take the whole weight of the drill. And I can do my paintbrush stuff with the drill. No weight, the drill will be just floating. The accuser will be just floating. The suction would be just floating. The debrider would be just floating. So have a gimbal which will essentially help me to have no weights on my hand. Okay, this is our concept number one, which we are working on right now. Second thing is the microscope. You know, you have about 15 kg in your front with all the prisms and everything. You have objective lens, you have an eyepiece, and then you balancing it. Many neurosurgeons have the microscope, which is perma-balance, for example. I have a perma-balance microscope, Carl Zeiss Pentiro. Many of them don't have it, so you will have to keep on adjusting it, manual adjusting it. Okay, you have the mag lock, which is not balanced all the time, but sometimes you can balance the mag lock. But what is the need for all this? You have just two cameras, Chipotle cameras. Imagine two Chipotle cameras, and on the camera, these cameras are mounted on a mag lock arm or a robotic arm. Imagine these cameras can be brought to your field, and you can put in something like a Microsoft HoloLens and start operating. There's no need for the microscope. And imagine if we can also put the navigation into it. This is what we are working on right now. We call it the hyperscope. We've written a chapter already in the UNESCO textbook, and this will be getting published very soon. So we're working on something which combines the microscope, the endoscope, navigation into one. That will take away a lot of things from the theater. Your theater will be much, much freer, and it will be much, much easier for you. You know, this is 2019, it's going to be 2020. We cannot work with instruments which are 100 years old or 50 old. We have the technology telling you, you know.
Whoop, I think we have some bandwidth issues, so just hang on. Usually it resolves itself. There you go, Ike. Can you hear me, Ike?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, it's back on. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, we can. Go ahead, Ike.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, yes,
Yes, I can hear you.
yes, good. Okay, go ahead.
So we were talking about the microscope. We were talking about the microscope. 1 second, John.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello?
Yes, yes, we can hear you now. We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. I guess you can't hear me, correct?
John?
Yes. Yes.
John?
Yes, I can hear you. We can hear you, Wipe. We can hear you. Oh, I can see Edward Valencia.
Edmundo?
Yes, I can. Yeah, we're
Can you-
using
John, can you?
Yes, I can hear you.
promote-
Yes, I can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. No, what I am trying to tell you is, no, I've told about, I've, no,
Okay.
no. What I'll do is I'll mute this.
Okay. You want me to unmute Edmundo? Okay.
Yes, I am going to, Edmundo is going to talk.
Okay. Okay.
I mute him.
Okay. You want to mute? I can mute you. Go ahead. We're getting feedbacks from different.
It is working for you? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
I want, I have given two concepts now. One is a microscope, one is a drill. I want each one of you to go on record, including senior surgeons like Marco and Amer and Edmundo and Mohamed, each one of you to think about and tell us what are the other things that can be improved. Okay. I also am designing another thing called the water knife, which is a laminar flow of water at 2.5 centimeter. It will act like a knife. So because it is converging, and it will act like a knife at 2.5 centimeter, and anything above or anything below, it will act like a dissector. Okay, so the water will just be like a dissector. So we are calling it precious. We are calling it precious. Precious in Sanskrit means a water knife. Okay, a knife. So we are designing that also. That prototype, last week I was just checking the prototype. It's thrilling because it is attached to the drill. We are doing it with a company called Manman in India, and they have made sure that we combine the drill, the water knife together, so that after you drill, you can take the water knife handpiece, and with the same motor, we can work on the water knife. So it is really encouraging, and even they are designing. The Manman India company is designing the gimbal with the drill hoist. So I want you guys to go ahead and talk about the different things. I mean, I talked to you about the hyperscope. I talked to you about the drill, how we can take the weights of the drill, QSAs and everything. I talked to you about the water knife, okay? And I want you to give opinions about how we can improve from simple things to complex things, on how we can improve the things. I mean, how we can improve ergonomics and neurosurgery in general, so that it becomes easier for people to be in the OR. Maybe Marco, Edmundo, Ahmed.
Okay, whoever wants to go.
We were discussing about this about ergonomics in neurosurgery. So one thing we are working in is the weight of the instruments that already I told you. That's very important because if we need to use our strength to hold some instruments, is I mean, we spend strength in do that and not in be precise with the surgery. And another thing could be also the cables and pipes that we use. Sometimes with some instruments we need more than one cable and pipes connections, and we get a little mess in our operating field. So all of these things we are trying to improve, and also we want to get your ideas, your opinions about this ergonomic in the operating room.
Also, another thing we are designing again is you've seen the Lila retractor, right? It's a bit of a pain actually. It was good. It's very good, but it's sometimes a bit of a pain. So we are designing a retractor which is much more lighter. Its length can be adjusted, and the tightening is motorized. You press a small button, this thing will tighten. You press another button, it will loosen. So we are using a torque. We're using a torque generated by a motor. So this Lila retractor also will change. All this being done with this Manman company. And I usually cannot even spend hours with the engineering team, but I spent 3 days with them because it was such a joy to watch them, how they design things. And ergonomics can only be brought when we work together with engineers. So we've been working with their company in Pune, and we've been sitting with them, and then they have a fantastic, very, very intelligent team, and very passionate, as well as very, somebody who's listening to whatever we say. So that is the only way we can bring neurosurgery to be at ease. Otherwise, whatever they design, we're going to use them without complaining. Even if they give us this kind of an instrument, that's not, let's say if they give us an instrument like this and say, okay, you do a craniotomy with that. We never complain because we don't think, because we don't have time to think. So now is the time for us to sit down with engineers and say, this is not what we want. What we want looks like this. And then they will design it. So that's what we're doing right now. So, and the 3-pin, you see the 3-pin, it's a primitive thing, you need only pressure pads. You don't need 3 pins actually. You need beautiful pressure pads with a head support, which can change If you take the lock off, you can motorize and change without putting strain on the head. You can change a little bit. You don't have to change the table. I mean, you can change a little bit of angle without really, you know, all this can be done. So we are working on completely redesigning the 3-pin. Now with the 3-pin, I cannot sit with the patient's head on my lap because the 3-pin has a large rod which limits me going underneath the patient and having the patient on my, literally on my lap to operate. This is the best position to operate. You don't have to do this. You can literally operate with the patient in your lap if your 3-pin design is better. So we are trying to design a completely, and again, a carbon fiber 3-pin because we have an O-arm in theater. And one of the reasons, I mean, an O-arm is much, we also have the intraoperative 3 Tesla, but an O-arm or an intraop CT is much better for navigation rather than intraoperative MR because the O-arm is right in the theater. We can position the O-arm in. The only problem is the 3-pin and its and their counterparts give us a shadow. So we are designing something in carbon fiber, everything, entire thing, carbon fiber, so that the head is right in my lap. We are not using pins, we're using pressure pads. Now you may think that you are crazy because you're not patenting it and you're talking about it already to everybody. The whole purpose of this is to disseminate information and to, you know, to have people to do things. Not to keep it for myself and take a patent and then take the money out of it. No, this is not neurosurgery. Neurosurgery or knowledge is about telling everybody, shouting from the rooftop, this is what we want to do. Because neurosurgery is not ergonomic right now. So we are designing this also. Once we have by the next meeting in Kazan, I think we'll have all the 6 prototypes. And then we will check them out in the lab for some time. And then after that, we'll adapt them. The hyperscope will be something very, very interesting. It will completely finish off microscope, navigation, and endoscope. So anything else you have ideas? You think there is something, you guys can carry on and talk. Maybe Marco or somebody.
Well, the
Guys,
first idea.
can you say us something? Your opinions?
Yeah, can I? Well, my idea is a newborn idea. Came from my experience. Can you hear me? You hear me?
Oh.
Can you hear me? Right?
No, your sound is not, for me, it's not very good, but okay, please carry on.
Go ahead.
Okay. My idea came from my experience in a microdiscectomy. Usually to move the rods, we use an instrument called is a spreader with the extremity as
I can't hear you. Is it audible to you, John?
Yes, it is.
1 second. I just try with my phone. 1 second.
Yeah, okay. We'll get it to work.
Can you just promote me to the panelist, please?
Okay. I don't see you in there. I don't see you in there. Yeah,
I'm here. Josh.
Yeah, I see you trying to enter, but. Oh, there you go. Okay. Okay, you're in now.
Okay. You can leave. Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay, John, can you ask, now Marco can start talking?
Okay, go ahead, Marco.
My idea, Hype and all guys, came from my experience in lumbar microdiscectomy. When we need to move the rods to see the hernia, we use an instrument that is, has the hand. The instrument is curved this way. I think I don't have so much experience, so I ask about to you, Ipe. Could be a good idea when you work in a aneurysm or vascular surgery, have this instrument, but with mobile extremity. It allows you to move, if you need to move better, an arteries, like it could be a perforant, and move a little bit more. You don't move all the instrument, but just with pushing, move the extremity. So to do a little bit movement at the extremity and move the vessel, I think will be a good idea.
Yeah, so I mean, this is an excellent idea. So what I do is, generally when I have a very deep vessel I have to mobilize, what I sometimes use is I have the Mitaka arm and I put a dissector on it, a very thin dissector. I put it on the Mitaka arm and then I position the Mitaka arm in such a way that the vessel in the depth is just pushed away a little bit. Yeah. So I cannot use any dissector for it because the dissector has to move as a unit. But the Mitaka arm, you know, and the dissector perpendicular to it, you can, you know, what you said right now,
Correct.
I can just move it a little bit away.
Correct.
And this is a big advantage, actually. But maybe you should just, you know,
some drawing, you mean?
Just draw it down. And from Neurosurgery, January 1, when we start, we are planning to have drawings from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody who wants to patent doesn't need to buy surgery. I mean, drawings from all over the world, and then we can start and try and start to make it. And then, you know, if it works fantastic.
Okay, okay. I can try to drawings for you. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, guys.
Amir, do you have any input on the discussion? Are you there, Amir? Go ahead, Amir. Let me unmute you here. Okay. Oh, you're muted there. We're having a lot of sound issues today. I'm sorry about that. Deepak or Nashadin, do you have anything to say? There you go, Amir. Go ahead. Go ahead. We can hear you now. Hello, Amir? Well, I guess he can't hear me. Nashadin, are you there?
I want to say.
Go ahead.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I don't have any questions. I want to say thank you for discuss about how to work with microscope. Yes, I have a nice microscope, a new one. I want to adapt it to new microscope. 4 years ago, we have Pantera microscope. Now we have Hack. It's a new one. Different microscope, different adaptation.
Okay. Okay. Deepak or Nashadin, can you hear me okay? Any comments or questions of Ipe? Hello? No one's hearing me today. I guess not. Okay, Ipe, can you hear me okay, Ipe?
Yeah. I guess we can stop it at that. If there is no comments or anything, we can stop it at that.
Yeah, okay, I don't know if it's a sound issue with Deepak or Nashadin. Can you hear me, Deepak? I don't know if
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, good. Could you have any comments for Ipe? How you doing, Deepak? Could you please introduce yourself? Hello, Deepak?
Dr. John, it was my sound. It was my voice. I'm Nashadin.
Yeah, I can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I joined late. Just I want to thank Dr. Ipe.
Okay, yeah, Ipe is talking about
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's gonna be recorded.
Many thanks.
Okay, it's gonna be recorded, and we can send you a copy.
That's good. That's good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, very good. Okay, Ipe, I don't know if there's any more comments or questions, but if there's not, could we meet your associates there, Ipe, before we go?
Beg your
Hello, Ipe.
pardon?
Can we meet your associates there, please?
Yeah, tell me.
Okay, can we meet your associates?
Yes, please. Yes.
Yeah, could you please introduce yourself, Edmundo?
Hello. I am Edmundo from Peru, and now I'm fellow in Viratnagar with Professor Chirian.
I'm Mohammed from Egypt. I'm a neurosurgeon and I'm a fellow.
Okay, welcome. Okay,
Welcome.
Edmundo, we have a conference on hydrocephalus in Spanish. We'll talk. I'll send you a note about that.
Okay, if you share me the information, I can send to my colleagues, Spanish speakers, so they can participate as well.
Yeah. Let me just put the poster up here quickly to show you. It's on the 11th of. Ipe, any conferences coming up shortly? Hello, Ipe?
No, I'm not going for anything right now. March, we have Luis Borba's World Skull Base meeting. For that, definitely, I might be going for that. So after that, in May, you have Kazan, the Asian Congress of Neurological Surgeons meeting. So that is another one. And in 2020, well, we have few, in November 2020 to 22, we will have our own meeting with the Asian Australasian neurological surgeons. So, well, I'll keep you updated. More than that, I'm very excited to have this neurosurgery coach starting from January 1 onwards.
Do you want to say a few words about that, Ipe, the neurosurgery coach?
We'll see, January 1 onwards, we're going to start a neurosurgery coach every month. There's going to be one mentor. January, it is Dr. Atul Goyal, and he's going to show his videos and his surgical videos, do some live surgeries. And then I'll be in the panel, as well as we're going to have some also some sessions where you can improve your radiological knowledge, surgical anatomical knowledge. You can improve your hand skills and things like that. So that is what we are aiming to do with Neurosurgical Coach.
Well, and what date is that? The first
starts from January 1. Starts from January 1.
Okay.
And it'll be all throughout 2020 and 2021. 2 years.
Okay, very good. Let me just show you a few conferences that we're televising. And Ipe, I don't think Yuha is going to this one. He usually does go, but he's not going this year. This conference is the Neurointerventional Radiology on the 11th of January. We're going to televise that in its entirety. I think you know a few people, Ipe, but I guess Yuha's not going this year. He usually goes, but okay. Let me just try to screen share something else. Hold, just give me a second here.
I don't go to interventionist meetings, John.
I'm sorry?
I don't go to interventionist meeting. I don't believe in this.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
believe in-
Okay. Well, okay. Anyways, this is another conference we're televising for Edmundo from Mexico mostly. Hydrocephalia. Yo voy a mandar el flag, banner.
Okay.
Y si tú quieres presentar un amigo, yo voy a mandar información. I'm going to send you the information, but we have some
Okay,
openings. We have some openings, and we'll be glad to accommodate someone that wants to speak about hydrocephalus in Spanish.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Okay, I'd like to thank you very much for coming out again Sunday, and January 1st, I guess we'll be seeing you.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that, John.
Okay, very good. Thanks, gentlemen, for coming. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Bye.
much, John. Bye.